Good morning, card communities. RJ back with another video. So let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 1987 Fleer, the mini version of Mike's card. The minis were about 132 set card, came in a boxed set. It was not a pack issued item. See here, it had a glossy finish. This is Mr. Schmidt's normal 1987 Fleer card. It did not have a glossy finish, although there was a parallel glossy set similar to the Topps Tiffany's. So my random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Today's random baseball item of the day. I'm going to kind of tell a story and poke some longtime collectors on this one. A lot of people who are veteran hobbyists, longtime card community members will know who Barry Halper is. Barry Halper, longtime collector, died in 2005, but he had a collection that rivaled the Hall of Fame. There's a few people out there today who can say that. I've seen several videos that individuals have showed off that show some of the pieces of their collection, show their rooms. There are several people out there who have collections that are would rival the Hall of Fame. Barry Halper was the first well-known one. He was on TV shows, news shows. They made books and prints about him. In fact, one of the things in my collection is a VHS tape. The Ultimate Collection of Baseball Memorabilia, the Halper Collection. This is a video put out by a company called Cabin Fever. And it's a video of basically Billy Martin pays a visit to the Halper house and gets shown around his collection. So it was quite the item. Now, Halper died in 2005, I should say. He died in 2005. He had a heart attack in 1994, I read. And in 1999 is when he sold off a lot of his collection in an auction at Sotheby's. So the auction catalog from that auction is a very desirable piece to some people's collection because of all the things it has in it. You could get a box set after the auction. It had there was a 3-volume set of everything up for auction, as well as a paper that told you what everything sold for. They put it in a bound set. You can still get them off the bay for about $50. I also happen to have a little card set that was issued for the Sotheby's auction. Basically, it talks enclosed how to order what they call the Ultimate Record Book, which is this thing here. This little coupon tells you how to order it. Then it's got several cards that talk about some of the items up for sale and what they think they might go for. So you can see on the back, what might they go for. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's a really cool little 14 card set featuring some of the best items of Barry Halper's collection, and then a guess as to how much they might go for. I'll hear the Pine Tar incident. Really cool series of items surrounding George Brett's Pine Tar incident. A really cool little collection. I remember seeing what that was. So, interestingly, I don't mean to burst anybody's bubble about Halper, but I was reading a couple articles, and there is some question about whether or not Halper adequately obtained those items. In other words, after he had died, and actually, I guess during his life, there were a lot of speculation about perhaps he some of the items were stolen. Maybe not that he stole them, but that he purchased them, from somebody who in fact stole them from somewhere else. That went with a lot of the pieces, a lot of the pictures. In fact, there was some question as to whether or not some of the items were authentic or not. Some of the jerseys, for example, and there's a number of articles out there that speculate on these things. I'm not here to speculate. I'm just saying that if you're a big fan of the hobby and you know who Barry Halper is, it's an interesting read to go through some of those articles and to learn more about Barry and his collection and what people think of it. It makes me think sometimes, because there's a whole lot of other people out there who show videos of their collection, and I'm not here at all. I'm not one to point to them and say they're fraudulent. It does, but it makes me pause. It should make us all pause when we buy something. If we lay it out to be something it isn't, we really have to do our due diligence to make sure that what we're getting is in fact authentic, if we want to call it that. Just this one man's something to think about. Let me put it that way. So today's trivia question, keeping up with this day in baseball history, we are now on June the 11th. So on this day in baseball history, June 11th, 1985, this former Philadelphia Philly player becomes the first major league player to hit 2 home runs in the first inning. Name him. What you're playing for, great home run hitter in his own right. This is from 2005 Leaf biography. It is Ted Williams. And Williams' 63rd career home run. This is number 63 in the Williams set of his home runs. They were putting out a set of a number of home runs for various players. If you know, I've been doing that Mike Schmidt run. This one was included in a purchase I made. It's Ted Williams, and it doesn't fit in my collection. It's home run number 63 of the Ted Williams collection from 2003. Leaf Certified Materials, the biography insert. So that's what you're playing for. All you need to do is send me an email with a guess. I will include my email in the description below, along with the repeated question of that question you will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. So today, I'm going to do a little, I went on a rant on Friday, if you remember, about, people trying to figure out how we can get the kids in the hobby, do more to get kids in the hobby. Well, I'm going to do my small part. I'm going to take a step. I don't know if it'll have any impact at all. In fact, maybe nobody will even see this. Nobody will give a darn. Maybe it'll be like the worst decision I ever made, but I don't care. I like showing off my collection. These things are in my collection. And I'm going to do a Wednesday Kids Corner. Not all the time, but once in a while. And I'm going to show off very inexpensive collectibles. Things that any kid can buy that have a decent, significant place in the hobby. There's a reason these things exist. They're worth getting. They're really inexpensive, and you can brag to your friends that you have them. Now, again, everybody should have these. If they were a good collector, everybody should have one of these because they're easy to acquire and they mean something. So, what am I talking about? Let's talk about Donruss for a second. Donruss came out in 1981 along with Fleer. Fleer won the lawsuit against Topps, and it took until 1981 for those two companies to get on board and get a set made. In the lawsuit, Topps successfully sued and said, hey, they may be able to construct, issue baseball cards, but we're the only ones who can issue baseball cards with gum. Now, for some stupid reason, people thought you had to have something with the baseball cards back then. In other words, the concept that you would buy a pack of cards alone, for some reason, hadn't occurred to the card manufacturers at this time. You think it would have. The kids didn't care about the gum. It was a nice little treat, but what they were doing is getting the cards, right? I mean, that's what they are today. No longer is there gum. We're buying the cards because we want the cards. Even Upper Deck, when they came out in 1989 inserted the little holograms in their card packs. They didn't just come as cards. Even Score, when they came out in 1988, put the little Magic Motion trivia question cards in their packs. So for whatever reason, everybody thought you had to have something in the packs. Now Fleer, when they first came out, they issued stickers in their packs. Donruss went to gum, but again, they quickly were told, Donruss quickly was told only we can do gum. So Donruss had to pivot to something else the next year. And Donruss did pivot to something else. They pivoted to puzzle pieces. So in 1982, Donruss issued packs of cards with puzzle pieces in. This is the Babe Ruth puzzle. I have put it together. I have separate versions of these puzzles in the pack issued format. Let me skip ahead. Here is what a pack issued card would look like. This is the 1991 Rod Carew puzzle right here. All right. And this is what came in your card pack. And it's the same size as an average card, approximately. You take that Schmidt card here. You can see it was almost the same size as the card, so it fit nicely in the pack. All right. And there were, I believe, let me think here, 18 different ones of these. Was it 24? I think it was 18, so I'm going to count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 2020. There were 21 unique pieces. Okay, now, again, you get one of these randomly inside a pack of cards. So if you bought a couple random packs, it's possible you might get the same piece. All right. But these cards, these puzzle things, are very, very, very cheap. You can get the whole, at my LCS at least, I can go down there today, and he's got the whole puzzle group from a couple different years in the dollar bin. So for $1, you can get these puzzle pieces. Now, why would you want these puzzle pieces? Let's ask that question. Why would you want them? Because this is frickin' Babe Ruth, dude. Here you go. It's an awesome puzzle of Babe Ruth. Now, the artist also was Dick Perez. Now, the puzzle, sometimes the pieces didn't fit together because these weren't cut by the same, you didn't get necessarily the same pieces from the same image. You know what I mean? It would just be random pieces. So it's possible these were not cut the same from every picture, every cardboard. So sometimes the pieces don't fit together when you do it like this. So in 1982, they issued the Babe Ruth card in its packs. In 1983, it was, where is it? I misplaced this one. In 1983, they did Ty Cobb. And again, shout out to Dick Perez, because Dick Perez is the artist who made these pictures. So you're not only getting for $1 an awesome puzzle of an awesome Hall of Famer, okay? You're getting a piece of art by Dick Perez. Now, not only in 1983 did they do Ty Cobb in the base set, in 1983, Donruss issued a couple other oddball sets. One of them was a Diamond Kings Hall of Fame little boxed set. And inside there, they issued a different set of puzzle pieces. This was a separate product. You can find them today. I'm not going to go grab my set, but look up the 1983. I think it's like a 44 card set, I believe, but don't quote me on that. It was all Hall of Famers that were paintings by Dick Perez in card format. And in that set, which was released in separate packs as a separate product, they included puzzle pieces of Mickey Mantle. And again, same 21 different cards that form this 63-piece puzzle. All right. And again, these are legendary Hall of Famers, and you could buy the whole dang puzzle for like $1. The whole thing. All 61 pieces, 63 pieces for $1. You know, you want something cool to collect. You want something cool to spend your money on. Why not that? So in 1984, they kept going with some of the great legends. Duke Snider. This was a pack release. They didn't make a separate puzzle after the first year of their product. Sometimes they did multiple. They did multiple product releases, pretty much every year, but they didn't do two separate puzzles other than 1983. So in 1984, it was Duke Snider. In 1985, I'm surprised it took them this long to do this, gentlemen. In 1985, they did Lou Gehrig. Here he is in his Columbia uniform. Again, always art by Dick Perez. 1986. Kudos for them to pick out Hank Aaron. And again, these are my completed puzzles. I have completed puzzles where I literally glued them to a piece of paper so that they would be solid. Because these are so prevalent, so inexpensive, I took the time to put one together. And then I have another unused set. You can see here, like the Carew one, I have a completely unused puzzle as well. So 1987 was Roberto Clemente. Sorry, Lou Rock, I still cannot roll my R's. But the Roberto Clemente puzzle from 1987. It's so much better, I believe, to have two puzzles. One unscathed, but the other that's already put together so you can see what the image looks like. I think that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? 1987, 88. Stan the Man, Stan Musial. As they get later, once you get into like the mid 80s, Roberto Clemente had some value, but these later ones can probably be had for less than $1 because nobody wants them. 89. Yastrzemski. Actually, there were two. I can't remember why there were two, but in 89 you also had, in 89 you also had a Warren Spahn puzzle. I can't remember where they differentiated or how they were differentiated. Not sure. Unless this was the 90 puzzle. This might have been the 90 puzzle. But I don't understand that because I got the 1990 Willie Stargell. So I'm getting a little bit mixed up here, but Willie Stargell's another great puzzle. And then the last time they ever issued puzzle pieces in a card pack was 1991. You know, Topps' last year of issuing gum was 1991. Donruss's last year of issuing puzzles was 1991. Fleer's last year of doing stickers was 1991. And the last puzzle was the Rod Carew. So if you're a kid and you want to collect something cool, I know you want the limited edition serial number stuff, but never forget, in the world of collecting, in the world of baseball cards and baseball memorabilia and other things, there are so many more things to spend your hobby dollars on that are just as fantastic. I mean, those puzzles, as far as I'm concerned, are right on par with any of this year's serial numbered out of 25 cards. I really do. Because everybody's looking to get that. Nobody's looking to have these puzzles. And they're easy to have. And they're mega Hall of Famers. They're surefire Hall of Famers. All the other guys are speculation. You don't know. But again, that's just me ranting. Donruss Diamond Kings puzzles are freaking cool. And it's another great Dick Perez collectible. I have no doubt baseball collector Mike Moynihan has every one of these puzzles as well. Be interesting to tell me, you know, I don't know, Mike, if you ever see this, let me know if you actually put yours together. If you had one loose one and one put together, I'd love to know that. Anyway, this is my first Kidz Korner thing. Trying to get you young people out there interested in the joy of collecting, not just shiny cards, not just, impossibly expensive Hall of Fame things. There are a lot of cool collectibles out there that anybody can afford and that are really, really awesome. And I think, for lack of, for better or worse, the Donruss puzzles are one of those items that anybody would be happy to have in their collection and really are freaking cool. So that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? I got one more video on Friday, and then we got the trivia recap on Sunday, so come back for that. Other than that, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Take care.